Hey guys, it is Mike from Baltimore Rides here, Wednesday, July 19th, and I'm just checking in as I get started with my day. Actually, I got stuck in a little bit of traffic on 83, so I turned on my app and diverted off onto Northern Parkway and then picked up a couple jobs. So I've actually kind of started my day early and I haven't even gotten to the city yet, but excuse me, it was just the right thing to do, was to kind of just plan B it because there was some traffic. So I am now heading down Northern Parkway, about to get into the city and get going. The zoo was amazing and yet awful at the same time yesterday. July in the middle of a 90-degree heat wave with humidity is not the right time to walk around the Washington Zoo. It is considerably larger than the Baltimore Zoo, which even that zoo would have been tough to walk in that kind of heat and humidity yesterday. My kids and I were like practically heat stroked by the time we quit. We didn't get to see everything. We kind of breezed through the last section and a half because we were just dying of heat. It was just awful. So we drank so much fluids, we were peeing so much. I mean, it's just a mess. So too much information there, but that's the reality, is that that zoo is probably a fall trip, just because it's long. It's a good walk. It's not like the Baltimore Zoo that is very condensed. So it was a great day. It was just, I was wiped out afterwards. So I'm back at it today. I am in the car. Like I said, I don't necessarily think airport is going to be the way to go Monday through Friday. I was looking at Gridwise, which is an app that I use that kind of gives you projected peaks for the airport, passenger arrival peaks, and I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on that information yet. Some people tell me just go to BWI's website and it'll show you flights coming in, which again, kind of not an objectified, but there's a little bit of vagueness to that, because sure, there might be 4 flights coming in, but that doesn't guarantee that 400 people are going to request Ubers. You don't know how the transportation system is going to work for those folks. So flights is a mean, rough number. That's all it is. And so just like the average passenger number that Gridwise gives me, it just tells me that whatever it is, 9 o'clock, there's going to be 3,000 people coming in on arrivals. That definitely is a peak, and that definitely tells me there'll be some business. But, I just don't know. I'm not 100% sold on this whole airport thing. So tonight there's an O's game, 7 to 11. I am going to definitely hang out in the city. It's hot. It's 95 degrees right now at 4:30. So I'm thinking people are going to be too hot to want to walk the city, and they might request Ubers a little bit more. Heat waves worked out pretty well for me the past couple weeks, so we will give that a try, and I will keep you guys in the loop. The PT Cruiser, my old car that is not Uber qualified because it's almost old enough to vote. It is 16 and a half years old, so it definitely is not old enough or young enough to drive. Is going away tomorrow. I am taking it to a junkyard that will buy it off my hands for a small sum of money. Nothing to write home about. But I just need to get that thing off the books and close out the insurance on it and then get the tags back, because honestly it's a third car that no one's driven in like a week and a half now that the Uber car's here, and then my wife has the van back. So I'm just gonna make it go away, because it is a beast, and it's been sucking a lot of money down right now with repairs. So the sooner I get rid of that albatross from my neck, the better. But that's where we are, guys. I'm a little bit rambly. I've got my coffee. I'm not 100% caffeinated yet, so that's why I'm a little bit out there. But this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get down to the city. I'm going to grind for a couple hours during the 5 to 7 rush hour. Hopefully get a little bit of Orioles traffic out of that. And then we'll play it by ear, because this Gridwise thing says there's a big peak in the airport around 9 p.m. So Maybe Wednesday night is a travel night. I don't know. I'm just not 100% sold yet. So we're going to play it by ear, and I will keep you guys posted. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey guys, it is Mike from Baltimore Rides here. Thursday early in the morning hours, but obviously this is my wrap-up video for the Wednesday night work shift. And just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Some weird stuff happened tonight. I'm not going to lie. It was kind of a peculiar night. I went down to the airport after about, I don't know, 8:30 p.m. I'd gotten a bunch of rides in the city, a couple Uber Eats, and a couple just regular Uber X's. And then the game was already in session, and I was like, okay, it's going to be dead in the city for a few hours. Let me try the airport at 9 o'clock because Gridwise, the app that I like to use to tell me what airport volume is coming in, said that there was going to be a pretty big amount of passengers arriving around 9 o'clock-ish. So, that being said, I drive down to the airport and didn't wait very long. Got a ride all the way to DC. $45 ride, and then the guy gave me a 20. We had a great conversation. So, that's one of those situations where we're in the car, we're like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes into the ride, and I'm just making small talk at that point. Hey, are you in town? How was your flight? Blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, like the more we get talking, the more interesting things there is to talk about. First we're talking about his job, which was very bizarre. Then from that we talk about, kids, and from there we kind of talk about hobbies, and it was like one conversation after another. This would be a guy that if I was at a bar hanging out, or if I was, just somewhere socially, this guy would have connected, and him and I would have become buddies. And that's kind of the vibe that it ended up being. So when he gave me a $20 tip, I completely appreciated and understood why. It was a great 45-minute conversation. Got back to the airport after I got something to eat in DC. Grabbed another ride from there that was kind of a short one. It took me to the city. That one brought me up to Baltimore. Dropped her off. Did a couple little rides in the city, and then that was pretty much it. Finished my night up in, kind of running around the city. It was 11:30, 11:45. There was no sense in going back down to the airport close to midnight at that point. So I kind of finished my night up, the bar scene and such. So it was a good night. I wrapped up the night with $140 in Uber fares and $50 even in tips. Now that's a combination of electronic tips, which I only got a few bucks, and $47 in cash. So the $20 bill from the guy from DC, but then I had a late night ride. A guy gets in the car, we make like 5 seconds of small talk. How was your night? Everything's fine, blah, blah, blah. And then nothing after that. Very quiet ride. He's looking at his phone. We get to his address, and he hands me a $20 bill. And I said, hey, did you want change? How much change did you want back? Nope, you keep the 20, man. You have a great night. So, customer service is not always about making these one-on-one connections where, you become like besties with your passenger, although those are great. I'm not going to lie, those customers are phenomenal, and it makes the ride really enjoyable just all the way around. But sometimes it's just about respecting somebody's quiet time. I got a very early sense that this guy was not a chatty Cathy, and he did not want to talk. I asked him how his night went. He said, fine. I said, hey, are you heading home? Or are you just getting off work? He said, oh, I'm just heading home. I said, okay. And that was it. And, that's sometimes that's just how it goes. But, I consistently do well with tips because, maybe I'm better at reading that body language that's kind of unspoken, who wants to chat, who doesn't. I know that I'm kind of an empathetic person, meaning people like to talk to me, and I can read their body language fairly well. And I'm not like tooting my own horn here. This isn't ego. I just know that that's something that I'm pretty good at. Not great, but pretty good. And so that's maybe part of it, guys, is just knowing when to talk and when to just chill. I will say this. The best investments I've ever made in this whole Uber experience have been an aux cord. My customers love the fact that they can listen to their own music through the stereo when they're so inclined. And charging cords. Get yourself a 6-foot Android cord and a 6-foot iPhone cord. And actually, I'm going to invest in a 6-foot USB-C cord, which is the new cord for the Samsungs, because having a cord that's already in the back of the vehicle in the passenger section with plenty of room to spare, so they don't have to lean forward or sit at an awkward angle. There's extra length for them to be comfortable. And I zip tied all of mine together, so I only have the 2, but I got to get I have an extra USB-C cord at home. But I zip tied them together, so like they're connected together. It's like one little bundle, with obviously just a few inches of play at the end. But there's no having to guess. They're not all snaked, tangled together. But those 2 things mean more to a customer than gum, candy, continental breakfast in the car. Nobody cares about that crap. And honestly, nobody wants to be cleaning their car from, wrappers and food packages and all that nonsense. But they love the fact that there's a charging device already plugged in, juice on the ready. Most of my customers tonight were already plugged in and charging by the time I suggested to them that they could plug in and charge their phone. And then those customers that get out of the bar, especially if you have a large group of 3 passengers or more, I love to suggest to them, hey guys, do you have a preferred radio station? Or does somebody want to volunteer to be in charge of the music? I have an aux cord. And then, oh, great, you have an aux cord? Let me see that. And somebody, the outgoing one always pipes in and just says, no problem, I got this. And, you just let them turn the volume up as much as they want. You put your earbuds in so you can hear the navigation through your earbuds and not through the radio. And you just go to town and you just let them do their thing. And, that's kind of how you win the battle of customer service, guys. I had a great conversation with a guy tonight. He was kind of an investment real estate broker or some such. And he said to me, what do you consider Uber's #1 goal? I said, it's customer service. Obviously getting you from point A to point B is the mission, but the mission is more than just delivering you. The mission is you riding in such a way that you feel comfortable, whether that means a great conversation or just a clean car or whatever, but it's a customer service industry. So just know that, guys. Again, not 100% convinced that the airport is the way to go 24/7. But I do think that, if your sense is that the night's going to be quiet, there's no boost, there's no surge. And tonight there was no boost in the city. I mean, 1.1 during an Orioles game, that's nothing. I mean, it's just nothing. They've really pulled back on boost since July 4th. So, those nights in the city when there's no boost, there's really no surge, it's going to be kind of a boring weeknight. Hey, look at Gridwise or look at the BWI schedule and see what flights are coming in. If you see 5 flights coming in all within 15 minutes of each other, it's probably a safe bet. Excuse me. Probably a safe bet that you're going to get some business. That's the trick. I spent like 40 minutes the first time I waited at the airport and maybe 15 the second time. So an hour to get 2 rides that totaled $75 before tip. That's great. That's great math to me. That's 2 trips well spent. Am I going to live at the airport? No. But I'm not hesitating now that if the city's quiet, it's 15 18 minutes to BWI. I can pop down there if I see that there's some flights coming in. But I timed it. I didn't just drive down randomly. I looked at Gridwise. I knew when the surge was going to be, or the peak was going to be, because Gridwise does like a wave chart. So I knew the peak was going to be around 9 p.m. And then I planned on being there around 9 p.m. and I got there at like 9:05, and the queue moved pretty fast. So just know that if you plan this thing out and you play it smart, you'll do well. I mentioned I had 2 Uber Eats tonight. Both of them were very, very good. One was $10 with a tip afterwards. One was only $5, but it was really, really short distance. It was from Marcos to Fayette. So, you know, it was like a 5-minute drive total distance. It was very, very short hop. But, you know, the Uber Eats are starting to trickle in. I got the one early on. It was my first ride of the night at like 4:45. You know, so I think that there's kind of a dinner rush right around rush hour. And then I got the other one. It was obviously like a late night munchies run. It was like 1 in the morning. So I'm a fan of Uber Eats. I think it's already paid for the pizza bag. And at this point now it's profit. So I'm going to keep doing Uber Eats. I actually think the fare structure is not bad. So I'm a fan. I'm convinced I'm a fan. That's about it, guys. You know, good night. I'm somewhere in the 200s for the week to 50-ish. I don't know. Monday was soft. I know this, but the week kind of scales upwards. So, you know, tomorrow, Thursday will be better, and then obviously it'll be rocking and rolling on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So we're just going to keep doing what we do. You know, please, guys, message me. Text me, you know, do whatever, send me a smoke signal, the bat signal in the clouds. I don't know, however you got to get a message to me, you know, connect with me on Facebook, whatever you want to do. But, you know, if you have questions or you are curious about things, you know, shoot me suggestions about what you want me to talk about, and I'll be happy to, because there's tons of stuff that I'm probably forgetting, or just things that I do on a regular basis that maybe I haven't mentioned to you guys. And I don't want to miss anything. I want to be as clean cut as I can. As you know, I'm still doing videos on my cell phone. It's just the easiest way to do it. I have the GoPro, but for the time being, I have not really done anything with it. It's just on in the background, but I'm not recording unless I get somebody sketchy. I do want to make the custom window labels, but I honestly just haven't had time. I have to sit down and you know, use like PowerPoint or something to make a shape and layout that I like, and until I can figure out how to stick them to the window where it's not tacky looking, you know, that's my concern. So if I got to do like a custom label, I guess, and then stick them to the back of the Uber sticker, which I need 2 more of those, but I got to go by the Uber office to get them. I did put in my application with Lyft. I got approved, but it's a 30-day provisional. I got to get the car inspected. So next time I'm quiet, I'm going to go up to Pep Boys, where Exchange Leasing had their inspection done, and see if they'll just give me a copy of the inspection, and or just breeze through it real quick maybe, because they obviously did the inspection 30 days ago. So that is my trick to get the, once I've got the inspection done, then I'm approved with Lyft. So we will, you know, I'll get around to that at some point. I'm not racing to get Lyft turned on. I think the only time I'll use it is when I'm at the airport, if I get sucked down to DC. So that's that. And this is a long video, guys. I'm rambling because it's late and I'm tired. But I'm going to log off here. I will splice these all together, and then I will see you guys later. Have a good night.